One thing that we've added over the last couple of years is obviously the ballpark LED lights, and we're able to do custom light shows. So that's been a huge addition to our in-game experience here at Citi Field, whether it's Edwin Diaz coming out of the bullpen to what seems like a gladiator entrance, or intimidating the other team when they change their pitcher and turning off all the lights and having all the fans turn on their cell phone lights and basically creating a hostile environment for that opposing pitcher that's coming in. That's been a huge enhancement to what we do over the last couple of years, and we're only looking to add to that in 2025. My name is Brendan McKeon. I'm the Executive Director of In-Game Operations. This is my 20th season. Get here for a game, and the biggest thing that we do is create what's called the game log. And that is a rundown of everything that we are gonna do for the game that night. Videos we gotta run, live executions we have to do, any funny stuff that we wanna do. So once that's created, I'll check in with the rest of our incredible team, and if we have all the elements we need, and if we're ready for a show. Once our rundown is finalized, once we've had our pre-production meeting, we've met with all our staff, we'll open the gates about 2 hours before the game. And if I'm in the chair that night, I'm directing pretty much from an hour and a half before the game through the last out. So I gotta plan my meal. I gotta plan on fixing any technical issues we might have, any issues from the previous game or technical issues that appeared during the day that day. That's all gotta be done before we open the gates and let fans in the building. So once we let fans in the building, we're on. It's showtime basically. And music's going from the booth next door. We're rolling videos, and then we're starting live activations about 30 minutes before the game. The national anthem is really the tentpole of pregame. It has to happen at a certain time for the TV broadcast, for the players on the field. Everyone knows exactly what time the national anthem's gonna be, because everyone has to kind of stop where they are, stop what they're doing, and kind of stand at attention for that. You got about 13 minutes until first pitch after the national anthem, and at that point, it's baseball time, and it's time to get the crowd ready for the game. At any sporting event, the open video is really the showpiece of the event. We'll start rolling that about 90 seconds before the team has to come out, and it's all timed, to the second in terms of when that video has to start, when the video ends, and then when the team comes out of the dugout to start their warm-ups for the game. So the video runs, the lights are all going, it's an entire synced show with, video board, all the LEDs, all the lights, in the music obviously. And then when that ends, the team runs out on the field, it's a big moment, the crowd goes nuts, the pitcher starts warming up, we play his music, and we're off and running. 7:10 starts at 7:10, can't be late. It can seem hectic, and it's a lot of logistics, it's a lot of planning, and it's being ready for inevitable obstacles that are gonna pop up. We have to make sure people are in place and people are ready to do whatever's planned for that inning. On headset, we have 15 people in this room, which is the control room, 3 people in our audio booth, PA announcer, and all the, the cameras and producers out in the stadium. So I would say probably about 25 people on headset during a game, all communicating, all trying to get on the same page in terms of what's coming up next. I'm kind of directing them on where we're going next, but obviously I work with a ton of great people, and I rely on a lot of great people to make sure that everything happens the way it should. So we're in charge of the entire in-game experience, which involves everything you see and hear when you come in the ballpark. Logistically, it's just making sure that everything is functioning properly, working in sync, and there's a lot of planning in the offseason that goes into making sure that all that stuff is working, all that stuff is loaded, all that stuff looks correct. That way that when those inevitable obstacles present themselves, we're prepped, we're ready, we know exactly what we need to do to get whatever we need to get done. So when the third out hits, we flash up Mets win everywhere, show the high fives, get a tight shot of, whoever was the big performer that game. And then we're waiting on SNY to provide us the interview. Steve Geltz will usually do an interview with the star of the game right after third out, and that's broadcast live to the entire stadium. And then we're wrapping the game up after that interview is done, game totals, and we always end every win with Meet the Mets synced to the Empire State Building light show. And when that's done, we're going into that game log for the next game, kind of filling in the gaps of where we might need to fill in gaps, finalizing it so that the next day when we come in, just really checking off the final pieces of that and making sure that it's good to go. Wanted to be a sports broadcaster, but quickly learned that I was better behind the camera than in front of the camera. And the best experience I ever got was volunteering at our student TV station and basically just doing every job that you could do in a production control room and doing it as a freshman in college. Eventually, you kind of work your way up and you're in charge of shows, as a junior and a senior, and that's invaluable experience to somebody who's gonna then graduate to the world of live production, because you're in charge of camera gear, of graphics packages, of how a show has to flow. And you're doing that, without the really safety net of like a professor or anything like that. You have to figure it out on your own. So our student TV station was an incredible asset to me. It was like my fraternity, I always say. I was in Greek life, but that was my fraternity. Be as versatile as you can be, and do not pigeonhole yourself into one specific lane. I feel very strongly that I can operate pretty much every piece of equipment in this control room, and I think that has proven very valuable for my career in terms of just being able to say, I can fill in on that, or I can help out with that. And that versatility is so huge. And just being able to almost be like nimble in where you can fit in, because there's always gonna be an opportunity somewhere. And if you just have one lane, you're just waiting for one opportunity. But if you have multiple lanes, you can jump at many different opportunities that present themselves.